Hey, this is Dr. Tang with whatsyourobsession.com, and today I'm going to be looking over the pop culture shock Kitana exclusive statue. Now, exclusive was limited to 150 and had two extra bonuses, which is the unmasked portrait, you're seeing that now, and the gory blades, which you're going to see more of in a few seconds. Now, I don't feel that gory blades are a very good representation of blood. They're as translucent red resin, and they kind of match the old school style of Mortal Kombat blood, which is very goopy and gory. It just doesn't look much like blood on a more realistic modern statue. Still, it's a neat effect, and I like them. Now, the unmasked portrait, I wasn't the biggest fan of the expression. I prefer the masked portrait, and while the unmasked one is nice, probably going to display it with the masked version most of the time. Now, one thing I'm going to mention that I usually would save till the end is there were a lot of packaging issues with the statue, which is strange because the packaging actually looks pretty good. Like, they did a good job on it, but many people complained about damage, and I had a few issues myself that I'm going to go over. The regular blades on mine had multiple points broken off, and I had to glue them back on for parts of the review. And during my regular text and photo review, I did a little bit of photoshopping to edit out like the seam lines and stuff. Didn't want to seem deceptive, but I wanted to rate it as, an accurate statue, not like a broken statue. So beyond that, my left arm with the regular fan had a very weak magnet and would not stay up for more than maybe 30 seconds or if there was any movement, so I had to be really careful during the review. And my masked portrait head had a couple hair strands, like at the very back, broken off, and I glued those back on for the review temporarily as well. Now, the sash on our front, that was also difficult to put in, but I could get it in, like it just required some wiggling. So if you get this statue, I would recommend inspecting it quickly before you put it in storage or you put it on display and have like a piece drop off. Jerry on the statue forums, as funny as that is to say, he said he would replace as many pieces as possible, and Sideshow might be able to help you out. So if you get a broken statue, there might be avenues to fix that beyond fixing it yourself. Now, finally, on to things I like about this statue, of which there are a lot. They've done a great job on the base, like the paint, the translucent blue resin going up into the waves, which turn more into like a white frothy thing. Then you've got the sand, and you got like little rocks around there, the fingers, and some of the broken nails. Like, they really took some time on this base, and there's a lot of stuff going on. They even have like the broken spears too. As you go up the statue, you're going to see a lot of nice stuff. They have done a great job sculpting this. She actually has muscle, which is so rare on most fighting game lady statues. They usually go for a more kind of glamour look, right? But these are fighting game ladies. They're competing against these huge jacked up dudes. They're obviously going to be fit in great shape because, if you're good, you're going to be able to use these fighting game ladies and just demolish the dudes. So they need to have some muscle, and on Kitana, she certainly does. She's got biceps, she's got giant thighs that she could just crush somebody's neck with. I feel they went a little far in terms of how she's posed with that butt sticking out as much as it is, but it's an appealing statue. It looks good. It just looks a little silly with how large it is. Now, that said, the muscle, great. The texturing they've done on the sculpted fabric is really interesting, and I haven't quite seen that done on any statue I can think of, really. When you look at the fabric, the sculpted fabric over her chest or the sash, even some parts that are definitely supposed to be armor, there's this really interesting textured look. The sash in particular has these circular patterns. So it's really cool to look at. There's just so many little details that are your eyes drawn towards. Even like the spear, which I focused on a little earlier. There's so many little details on the handle of it. Now, the painting in general, aside from the small paint rub that was a factory problem, and I don't think it occurred on most people's statues, they did a great job on the paint. There's lots of little differences. The metallics are done well. The skin has a good sheen to it. Like, the fans are just, everything comes off very well done. Really, I'm a little harsh on this statue in my written review, because I gave it a 3 out of 5, but I do mention that if I hadn't had the damage that I did, it would have been a 4.5 out of 5, because this is really just a gorgeous statue. It takes up a lot of space. It has some serious presence. If you get an undamaged one, awesome. It'll be a part of your collection for a long time. Hope you enjoyed the review.